Be well. To have the quality of meaning. Be joyful. But most definitely, people, put your hands up. Be well. Always been a hustler.
I named the project Be Well because the time when I was creating the project, I was transitioning back from moving to New York. Just had a lot of turmoil, things going on in my own life. My grandfather passed away. A year later, my grandmother passed away. And that time I lost a house, job, car, you know, and it was just hard for me to like really pick myself up. A friend of mine shook my hand, and when we left, he said, "Be well." And that's how I wanted people to leave the experience of the album. What's going on, man?
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Awesome day. I grew up on 41st and Hadley, and that's right across the street from Sherman Park. Like, the neighborhood is really near and dear to me. I think Sherman as a boulevard, it's like the freeway for the black community. So I remember a lot of parties they used to have at that park.
Sure.
I actually competed in an art competition.
Oh, really?
I thought I was gonna win first place, but I lost. But you know, maybe went over the judges' heads.
The point of this art, there's a variety of symbols. There's obviously a peace symbol. There's a yin-yang up there.
I like this piece.
Sherman Park for a long time has been a neighborhood that sort of hung its hat on diversity. The black community in Milwaukee through the 70s and 80s started sort of expanding. And during that time, a lot of these neighborhoods were like very European, and you saw wholesale white flight. People in Sherman Park that said, we're not scared, we're not afraid, we're gonna welcome our black neighbor. Sherman Park has kind of become this proxy for like the challenges Milwaukee's facing right now. Like, it's almost like people use it as code word. And they'll mean a conversation around disparity. Race, disparity, poverty. So it's interesting that Sherman Park has become this focal point of like, what do we do? Because Sherman Park for a long time in our city has been sort of posed as the answer to what we do.
I put out under my new company, Level 13 Entertainment. It's a Midwest vibe. Some of the East Coast flow, West Coast theme. Music with a political conscience.
Society thinking can't talk. It's crazy. Looking frantic. Heading for a hit of that dope. Cause they hit my line. It's repeatedly want me to give them quote. I control the game, but it's good. A puppet master I wrote. I got the world in my palm. Money in hair, but getting long. Biblical like songs. Play me all night long.
But I like my music to say something, but it gotta be hitting hard too. And most definitely it gotta bump. The low end, the 808, gotta be crazy.
This mural really shows the entire history of Latino people in Milwaukee. So the first Mexicans that were brought to Milwaukee were brought to this neighborhood, and they were brought actually as scabs to break a strike, and they didn't even know it.
Oh, wow.
Anyone that ever has come here for any reason, it's always for a better life. And for a long time, Milwaukee had a lot of industry, a lot of manufacturing that made that very possible.
They're living within their own culture here, you know, making a subculture of their own culture within this culture.
Absolutely. And then synthesizing and fusing. And
we have to not lose sight on what this city is and what it's been built upon. But it would be good if the African American community could see its story and actually know there is a rich culture here that it derives from, you know, and we should be building upon that. You know, legacy is important, culture is important.
There's a good quote up there. To immerse myself into this foreign country means not to forget the pleasantries of my own. My identity is engraved and encrypted in my blood.
The boys, they ain't talking about nothing. Coming in the game, they hold cards, bluffing. They for the living, I'm giving this heroes and stuffing. Stay baking in the kitchen, bitches, muffins. Leader of the congregation, they call me the pastor.
This is a hard-working city. It's a diverse city. It's not pretty at all times, if you are knowledgeable and you keep your eyes open and you happen to peek over, you can see something beautiful in all this mess.
We are currently standing in front of Milwaukee's, probably its best known mural. So this was the Esperanza Unida mural, a group named Esperanza Unida that advocated on behalf of laborers. So this used to be like the Latino neighborhood. It was a neighborhood that was sort of like very blue collar, working class. And now these are like mercantile lots.
And the changes that are occurring are almost kind of frightening for a person who's been here all these years. The people in those places are going to change. You know, they won't care about what came before.
He painted this, there were like skinheads that were like protesting this. Like some of his murals would get tagged with like swastikas. So now for us, it's like, of course, diversity. Like this was actually like an edgy sort of, you know, pushing the line gesture when he made it.
I think like even up until the restoration of this piece, it was controversial. And although there's always been an undertone of diversity, but in this place, we're still in the most segregated cities in the nation. People in this city, we can present itself in a most diverse form, but the undertones, it's not like that because how many immigrant families live in these lofts?
These people don't respect our rights, don't respect our life. This one took me a right, this one Trayvon too. I'm sick and tired of seeing our youth on the evening news. They're 10 on Channel 2, let's go. If you feel that, put your hands together. If you feel that, put your hands together.
Next move is just touring, merchandising, be well branded, and just, you know, perfecting the business and keeping a positive mindset, being healthy, trying to be a light, man. Use my platform as a message.
The street, I can't read and die live on TV for all those to see that a black life matters. That we kill each other. Don't want us, we black mad hatters. Attention and climb the ladders of success. The best we gon' slang that crack. But if your jumps out whack, you get past that pack. We don't make no guns, yet we under duress. We live in fear from the stress. You're chasing under arrest. The heat is stay boogie. We trapped up in the boogies. They give us scraps off the table and telling us good. Look at this life is far from just envision and fabulous. They march from rows of bus, just in the back of the bus. It's tuning while people laughing at us. Till we turn back the moment the time on the abacus. No, we never